heart that hurts. I want to spend my life mending broken people. I want to spend my life mending broken people.
And welcome to 3ABN Today. We are so glad that you've decided to take some time to join us, to give us a little part of your day. And we are blessed today to have our guests with us. Our guests today are Vaughan Sparrow. He's the president of Wildwood Lifestyle Center, and Raven White is the director of integration at Wildwood. Yay! Yay! We're so glad that you're here with us today. Yeah. We're going to talk to you, find out about Wildwood in just a second, but we have some wonderful music for you. Kendall Backus is going to be playing Give Thanks. Give thanks. We have so much to be thankful for. Thank you, Kendall Backus, for that beautiful, beautiful song. It's really important for us to think about what we have to be thankful for. And one of the things is good health. And that's what we want to talk about today. When our health is not so good, what can we do? And how can we give thanks and praise through our bodies to our Creator? So we're going to talk today about being in good health. And we're going to talk to our guests, Vaughan and Raven. So Vaughan, let's start with you. Tell us a bit about you first before we talk about Wildwood. Tell us a bit about you and how you got into the whole natural health realm.
Well, I grew up as a farmer's son in South Africa. And as time went by, as we graduated out of college, the opportunity presented itself for us to become farmers. We purchased a farm and went farming, raised all different kinds of animals and boys. And the Lord really blessed. But through the whole process of study and seeking the Lord, there started to become a burden on my heart to get involved in something else. In my college days, I was involved in health. I was a gym instructor and dealing with people's health issues, fairly frequently. And so we started praying, my wife and I, as to, Lord, what would you have us do? And through a whole series of miracles, the Lord opened the way for us to go to Wildwood. I didn't really specifically want to come to the U.S., but that's how the Lord opened the door. So we arrived at Wildwood actually 14 years ago now. And
did you go as potential clients, or did you go to work there?
Went to work.
Okay.
Actually in the maintenance department.
Okay.
And that lasted 3 weeks. And, we were asked to serve at a facility about 3 hours away, another campus of Wildwood, where they were doing drug and alcohol rehab. And we had training in South Africa in those lines. And the Lord really blessed our efforts there, and we really enjoyed it. About a year and a half later, things changed, and we were back at Wildwood, at which point I was asked to be the hospital administrator there. And that was a challenge in and of itself. But the Lord led us and guided us, and through the years have come through the ranks of leadership to being president today.
Amen. That is really, really good. The Lord has led you every step of the way, hasn't He?
It's been a fantastic experience. I often tell my classes and students, I wouldn't change this experience for anything. It's been such a blessing of 14 years. Struggles, but a real blessing how the Lord has led and provided for our needs. And the blessing of service, the whole universe operates on the law of service. And being involved in a ministry where you can do this full time is a real benefit.
Yes, for sure. What about you, Raven?
Well, I came as a student. I was blessed when I became an Adventist to have friends who were really about this faith. And so I learned about the health message. In the process, I was sick myself. Many of my family members were sick. And so my brother, he's type 1 diabetic, and he went into a coma. And when he came out, the doctors were in awe that he wasn't brain dead. And I had some friends who actually went to Wildwood at one point. So I was like, well, this is the only place I knew about natural remedies. I said, well, why don't you go there? And he was like, well, if it worked for them, why can't it work for you? Because you're sickly and you're 220 pounds. And I was like, oh, okay. So for myself, I came as a student. And I lost, at the time, I lost 60 pounds. I found I had diverticulitis, had fibroids, and I think it was in 2007. By 2012, they found that my diverticulitis went away. Some of the diverticulums went away, and even the fibroids went away. And it was all from the treatments that I was able to get while I was there as a student, and then became a worker. So
That's tremendous. Again, look at God. Look at how He orchestrates everything and guides our steps. We often don't know where we're going to end up.
Right.
I would never have thought that I was going to end up at 3ABN. You just don't know. But God has a plan.
Mm-hmm.
He has a plan for every one of us. And so you guys ended up at Wildwood and doing what you're doing. Tell us about Wildwood, its history.
I think I need to just put us in a context of why we do what we do.
Good.
You know, and that is, as the Lord started to reveal to Ellen White the mission of the church and opportunities to reach out to people, the sanitarium work was born. And you know, in the late 1800s, that word didn't exist. It wasn't even in the dictionary. And the word sanatorium was in the dictionary, and it had other connotations, you know, tuberculosis and all of those kind of things.
Right.
But it was actually Dr. Kellogg that coined the term sanitarium. And it became known to deal with health, you know, and health work. And today it's more synonymous with lifestyle centers. And the reason behind this work was a specific purpose that God had for His people. And He shared this with His messenger to start sharing with people. And so the first sanitarium that was really born was the Western Health Retreat Sanitarium. And that was really the first one from which Battle Creek grew. That was in 1866, right? And so, but late in 1910, Ellen White had further visions where she coins a term, the right arm of the gospel and the entering wedge. And she was shown that this work needed to combine with all our evangelistic outreaches. And so that came into being, and John Tyndall was the first man that was chosen to demonstrate this model. And as he started going through conferences in California area, he brought on board a young protege, and that was in 1923, and it was W.D. Frazee. And he worked with him for 5 years, and while he was going through this experience, he started praying for the opportunity to open a place where he could teach this combined message, health education, and evangelism. And the Lord led him to a place just outside of Chattanooga, right? And in 1942, Wildwood was incorporated and came into being. A few years later, in 1949, the first Wildwood Sanitarium and Hospital was built, and they started seeing patients there, but soon realized they needed a larger building. And that became today's Lifestyle Center. In 1971, that was completed, with a surgery suite, outpatient clinic. We even had a little ER room at that time. And the insurance industry wasn't so regulated those days, and the two philosophies were able to work together. But as the insurance industry became more and more regulated, the philosophies became more and more divergent, that being natural remedies as opposed to conventional medicine.
Right.
And so we started losing insurance coverage for people, and it became more of a self-pay system. And unfortunately, of course, that cut down the census. It was a 39-bed facility, at which point we had to cut it back, and the decision was made to cut those licensed beds back to 13. And the hospital portion hobbled along like that for some 25 years. The Lifestyle Center was then born, and lifestyle work started to become more known. And eventually, in September 2015, the board made the final decision to close the hospital and return our certificate of need. And it was sad, but yet, you know, with today's climate in hospital work, it's only the big centers that really can continue to operate. Many of the small hospitals closed down. And today we operate as a full lifestyle center, and we believe we fulfill the calling to relieve the sick and suffering, to disseminate light, to create a spirit of inquiry, and to advance reform. And this is, we see as the basic job description that we have for this end time work. And you know, God created this end time work, this sanitarium work, for a specific reason, and we are told it is to make up the number of God's people in the kingdom. And she says through this work we can reach people that wouldn't be reached in any other way. And so it's really a spiritual calling, a special work, and we believe we fit into that category. And it's a real privilege to be part of it and to see the miracles that happen.
Yes.
You know, as people come into that protective network, which protect against these spurious healings of the enemy.
Yes, and we want to talk, we have a video roll that we're going to go to in just a sec, but we want to talk about some of those miracles that God has performed there, because it's so important that people know. A lot of times people don't understand the relationship between, let's say, diet and just everyday functioning. You know, the choices that we make, lifestyle choices, it's not just diet, it's exercise, it's the way we think, it's getting rest, and all these things that a lot of times people don't connect the dots. And so it sounds like Wildwood is helping people to connect the dots. So let's take a look at this video, because I think it can shed some more light on what you're talking about.
Okay.
This is your stop, Frizzy.
And we can never understand how to run a sanitarium for God unless we know what time it is.
76 years ago, Elder W.D. Frizzy started the work of Wildwood Sanitarium. Now, it's my turn. As a new student, I want to know everything about Frizzy's legacy and what Wildwood has become.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? I'm Earl.
Nice to meet you.
Glad to meet you.
I first heard about Wildwood when I was a student in the physical therapy class at Loma Linda in 1951. And I thought, well, I want to visit that place sometime. I did after I worked a year and got first vacation. I came down and visited. Robert Olson was our Bible teacher at that time. He told about Wildwood. He got Elder Tyndall, who trained Elder Frizzy, to have a class, a Bible class. I came back, I worked in hydrotherapy and taught Daniel Revelation for a number of years.
Hi, excuse me, Brother Qualls. Can I take in for a moment?
Okay.
Thank you. Can you help me with something? Thanks.
Can you help me put this bed together? I have a new guest coming in. So you're talking to Brother Qualls. He's had a lot going on. Do you know he headed our hydrotherapy department for the longest time? Back then when he was here, a lot of stuff was not the way it is right now. Like, we've renovated our rooms and we've got new offices because we have new people here with so many great ideas to bring this place to life. So one of the main things I am so proud about is that we've always done the medical program, but now we're reaching out to those with emotional issues even more with our depression program, our life alignment program. So you as a new student, you're coming into something brand new, and I hope you really enjoy it.
With the Lifestyle Center reaching so many people already, I can't imagine what massive impact the community center must have.
Hey, Daniel. So we're building a community center here. It's called the Better Living Center. And the reason for that is at our entrance we have a church, and it kind of prevents people from coming in. They kind of think the whole facility is just church. And so we decided, let's reach out to the community, and by doing that we'd be able to prevent this proverbial gateway at our entrance. And so this center here is going to offer cooking schools, dinner with a doctor, seminars. As much as we can fit into this is what it's going to be for, to reach the community. And we're hoping that by the end of summer, we'd be able to have it dried in, and we'll see how our finances go until we can finish it. And so in the meantime here, we have to use our stores to meet the public where they are.
Building relationships is really what Wildwood is all about. And that's what I want to be part of. I love shopping here. It's such a great way to help people live the healthier life that they learn of at the Lifestyle Center. And soon Kathy is able to get all her herbs here too, because the store is getting a complete facelift. And that includes merging the herb store with the natural food store. The health message isn't dead. It's more alive than it's ever been because it's more needed than ever. Wildwood is still spreading that message in full force, and it's only getting bigger. This is the story of one hope, one vision, and one passion. This is his dream come true.
There is one thing that Christ is waiting for, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord.
What a nice video. What a profound mission. And look at how God is leading you to accomplish that. Tell us about Dinner with the Doctor. What is that? I love that.
So it's an opportunity for community people to come and experience good, healthy food with a medical provider that is there amongst them, that will give a lecture, that they can ask questions to. And so it's a cooking school combined with, you know, interaction with a doctor or a mid-level provider that gives people opportunities they wouldn't normally have, you know, without paying out a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so it's educational. And we see a lot of success with these type of programs, and different churches are putting them on. And so we want to put one on right at our campus, you know, where people can come for maybe other reasons than just, pay a lot of money for, you know, a lifestyle program. No, we want to be of service to the community.
Nice. That whole idea of outreach to the community is so important. You know, if there's so many churches in different neighborhoods that, you know, you have to ask yourself, would this church be missed if it were closed?
Right.
Because what's it doing within the community? And this organization, like Wildwood, what is it doing within the community? You guys are really meeting the needs of the community as well as your students. We had an interesting opportunity lately. It was, we've been praying and been burdened to, we have outreach that our students do every week. Twice a week they go down on an afternoon to Chattanooga into one of the communities there, and they'll play with the kids, they'll tutor kids, they'll give Bible studies, treatments. Raven can maybe share a little bit more about that. But 2 weeks ago, we had one of the Protestant churches in a community down in Chattanooga ask for an appointment with us. Really? For the church?
Yeah. They
Love
came
it.
to our campus, we had a meal together, and they shared the burden of their heart. They are situated in what is termed a food desert.
Yes. Explain that to our viewers, because they might not know what that is.
A food desert is a community that doesn't have access to food, can you believe there are zip codes in our country, in our cities, where there are no grocery stores?
No fresh food.
No produce. No produce.
No produce. They don't have ability to commute to get it elsewhere. And so these people are living by purchasing their food from gas stations. And we know that that's not healthy, nor is it economical.
Right.
And so this church has recognized the need. This community has a high level of infant mortality rates, high level of diabetes. You name any disease factor and they are off the charts. This church decided that church needs to be more than these four walls.
Great.
We need to impact this community. So they want to create gardens, grow boxes in this community, in the zip code area, where they can teach people to grow their food. Then one of their board chair was a guest at our lifestyle center before.
Really?
He said to them, if you want success in this particular thing, in teaching health, let's go to Wildwood and let's partner with Wildwood.
Now, this is a non-Adventist church?
It's a non-Adventist church, right? And so they came to visit us and they want to partner with us. We, in the discussion, you know, how can it be that in modern day society there's no grocery store in a zip code? And so we said, well, maybe we can look at an opportunity of extending our store to a venue within that zip code where we can share simple foods, show them how to use it, right? Find out what these people like eating, then show them the healthy alternative.
Yes.
And so we can help educate them. We can educate them in simple remedies. And so it's really an exciting opportunity. The pastor of our church was sitting there, he says, wow, this is an answer to prayer.
Yes.
Right? And so we've been wanting to get involved directly actually with our neighbors, but this opportunity, you know, supersedes that. And so I said to our department heads the other day, we're going to put the neighbors on hold for just a little longer, and we're going to get involved, you know, in this zip code down in Chattanooga to see how we can work together with other churches, bringing a difference in this neighborhood.
That's
we had
tremendous.
our first meeting yesterday just to see what extra we can do, because we know people are trying to get jobs. So job development, be able to help them do parenting classes if needed, meet with the children. So it's on the process. It's in the process.
That's tremendous. So look at what you're doing. You're really meeting people at their point of need. What do they need? They need food. They need food. It's unconscionable that there is not a grocery store in this whole zip code.
Right.
I mean, that is just, that's unbelievable in America. We just don't. We don't think that that's possible. But people are starving. They might be obese, but they're starving nutritionally. So you're offering them food, but not just food, education. So how do you maximize the use of that food or optimize the use of that food? Then you're offering them parenting lessons, and that's tremendous. Is this an inner city environment? So you're looking at the family, you're looking at the economics, job development. This is tremendous.
You know,
what a blessing.
Dependent, you know?
Yes.
They're supposed to be whole in Christ.
That's right.
That's what God says. Meet them where they are. Mingle with them. Meet their needs. And then you can truly bathe them to follow Christ.
That's right. How can they follow him if you can't even think straight because you haven't eaten proper food? If you're buying your food from the gas station, that means chips and cookies and donuts and junk food that's not nourishing the body. That's unreal. So you guys and you're doing cooking classes and all that. That's tremendous. What a blessing that is. So that's for the community. Now, what about people that come to the Lifestyle Center themselves? What's a typical day for the patient at the Lifestyle Center?
Okay, so we have medical providers who have worked in the world, done conventional medicine. The blessing thing with that is that they now know how to wean a person off their medication.
Ah,
That's very big because we have a lot of
huge.
guests who will come and just get off their medication.
That's huge.
And they'll have a heart issue or they'll have something going on with their bodies, and we tell them, whoa, wait. Let us teach you how to move from where you are to where God would like you to be, utilizing natural ways. So our whole medical providers come together, and they will actually meet with a person, at least for an hour or so, pray with them. They've already gone over their medical reports, and they're able to give them a lifestyle regimen. Okay?
And see, let me just interrupt you right here for a second. So what's important about this is you don't want people just getting off of their medicine arbitrarily.
No.
You have supervised
Yes.
weaning,
Yes.
so to speak.
Yes.
Which is really, that's the better way. You can't, there are some people watching who might say, oh, I'm just going to not take my meds. No,
Please
no,
don't.
Yeah.
we're not saying that.
Yeah.
What people do is they come to Wildwood and they are able to, by using natural means, under supervision of a medical doctor,
Exactly.
they're able to get off of many of their meds.
If possible, within the 11 or 25 days that's given to us,
Right.
yeah.
And
That's
so
tremendous.
what we're looking at more is, you know, conventional medicine is a lot of time treating symptoms. We're looking for the cause.
That's right.
Exactly.
Let's get to the root.
And let's get to the root. Our providers will start digging and doing research. And for many of the guests that come to us, it'll be the first time that they have a diagnosis of the cause.
Yes.
And then we can start working on the cause, and the symptoms start to alleviate themselves.
Yes.
So as we come into compliance with natural law,
Yes.
then the body can help heal itself.
That's right. And that's the amazing thing about the body is that it can heal itself if you give it what it needs to do so.
Yes.
You know, you give it the materials that it needs, it can heal itself. That's how we were created.
Right.
So what you guys are doing is tremendous, helping people to get well through natural remedies, which doesn't mean that they're never on meds, I would assume, but it just means that as many meds as they can get off of,
Right.
you know, because the meds themselves often have side effects and compounding issues.
Exactly.
So this is, I mean, if you can use natural means to get well, that's ideal. So, okay, so they come in, they sit with a medical professional
Right.
who prays with them.
Exactly.
That's amazing too.
Exactly.
Prays with them to consult with the divine physician, right? And then they look at their meds, which is another issue, because sometimes doctors are unaware of, you know, all of the different meds that a patient is on or whatever, and the interactions. So that can be an issue. So they look at the meds, they're able to pray with the patient, then what do?
Okay, so even before the guest comes, the team has looked over all their medical records and their history. And
there's a team.
There's a team. So you may meet with one medical provider, but the whole team comes together, and they will include the chiropractor, they will include the mental health specialist, they will include the nutritionist, and they will come together, look over everything and say, well, this has already been done. What more can we do? These are the questions we want to ask. But before they get here, this is what we're first going to start prescribing for them for hydrotherapy. We want them to start maybe taking this herb or this supplement, maybe requesting maybe some extra blood work, because it is trying to get to the core, seeing how far, you know, some people really are coming in a far extent with their disease. So for 11 to 25 days, we're very honest with people and letting them know a lot of times we're really just a catalyst, but we'll do the best we can. We will do the best we can, and we're in this together. So when they come, there's already something laid out for them.
But we also saw a need for, you know, not only disease reversal, which is one of our main programs, right? But we see so many mental health challenges today.
Yes.
You know, maybe you can share a little bit about that Life Alignment program.
We first have a foundational program called the Life Alignment Program. It encompasses our 8 laws of health, which we have the nutrition for the basic plant-based diet.
Right.
And we actually teach them how to make plant-based food, bread making, as well as we exercise with them. We walk them every single day. People know that about our campus. over 600 acres, okay? And we have trails as well. So we teach them about sunlight, getting out, deep breathing, getting out in the air, resting their body and their mind. So as they're doing that and having the group therapy sessions, okay, and that's another deep one, because as they're sitting there discussing things that they're going on, they're able to see life from God's point of view. A lot of issues, it's said that 9% of all diseases start in the mind, but we have to tackle those thoughts. So that's the Life Alignment program. Then you have our Depression Recovery program, where we encompass that with a licensed therapist, mental health specialist. Okay, so there you really get even deeper, and it's tackling again those depression thoughts. We even had for your testimony here, we had a gentleman who just continued to try to commit suicide before he came to Wildwood. He had an 8-year-old daughter, and we kept saying, well, look at who you have. He said, but I can't live for her. I don't want to live anymore. And so he came to us. He said, this is the last straw. If I can't get help here, I'm done, and I won't say anything else. And so it was a blessing because he worked with our mental health specialist. He said, you know what? I'll tell you this, 11 days is not enough. He said, you're just getting out the fog in 11 days. By 25 days, he said, I can see, I can understand. You're talking about now almost a year or 2 years later, this man has now sent his friends and his family to come to our program. He's living, he's working, his daughter, he has a close relationship with his daughter. I mean, this is what we're trying to help people see, that there's a bigger picture than our tunnel vision.
Yes.
Okay, that's the danger with sometimes mental diseases or even just depression alone.
Yes.
We get so stuck on right now, and we don't see the future. We don't see what God is doing. And we want people to see that.
Yeah, well, it's hopelessness, and it's like you're giving them hope in Christ, and also it's chemical imbalances, you know, that need to be addressed. I mean, there are all these different things that need to be addressed, but what you're doing, which is so great, is you're looking at the entire person. You know, many times we do leave the mental piece aside, and we're just dealing with the physical. No, the whole being. We're mental, physical, spiritual, you know, emotional beings. So that has to be dealt with. And so you're looking at dealing with the whole person. And you have things in place to deal with the whole person. And that's tremendous.
And we even give them a one-on-one coach. So they are able to create goals while they're there.
Nice.
And actually prepare them to go home.
Nice.
So they're not just trying to figure it all out, because when they get home, it's back to habit. So we start tackling things now.
Nice.
Why did you get here now? How do we prepare you to go back home and fight?
Nice.
And so they have at least each one a one-on-one counselor, coach.
So one of the problems that we saw, you know, and we've recognized this over the years, is, you know, we have a person, let's say, for 11 or 25 days, and like Reverend just said, now they go home. And now what? And many people get back into that old habit groove, right? And they can't seem to break out of it, and soon they're back to their old habits. And the program doesn't work anymore. So we've partnered with a ministry, and we have a 90-day follow-up program that's web-based, where groups can go on, they can watch a webinar, they can ask questions and get specific answers for some of the challenges that they're dealing with. There's recipes that are shared. There's cooking demonstrations that are given. And the person is encouraged to keep with the program that they've started, keep with the habits that they've formed, and so that that habit can become entrenched. And so we have almost 100 days of, you know, helping a person adapt to a lifestyle adhering to the 8 laws of health.
Oh, that's tremendous. Because what happens, you know, when people come to a program, they come there, they learn things that they can apply when they go home. But when they go home, they go back into the same situation that led them there in the first place. So how do you keep the momentum going?
Yes.
This is a great idea, a 90-day
follow-up program, yeah. And we have another one too, with, you know, some of our guests come there, we've seen this over the years. I've seen it, you know, being involved with this over, especially the last 10 years. People are coming there, they are sicker than what a lifestyle center can usually handle. And so sometimes a guest will leave and they're not quite ready, they still need help. And so we've also have another ministry that's partnering with us, that they'll provide help in the home.
Oh,
and
this is
so
great.
that we can actually, carry forward the treatment, and that person can be able to regain their health.
Oh, that's tremendous, because now you've got help at the site, help post-site, and then help within the home as well. So this helps to really solidify the program. I think we have another video that we can show that kind of will bring some more light on this.
Okay.
Christ manifests himself here, I believe, because this place is attracting people from all over the world. The secret of Wildwood's success is the presence of Jesus.
They come with lifestyle-related diseases such as high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, drug abuse, sometimes mental problems.
Patients come here and they see a doctor or nurse practitioner, and we create an individualized program for them. We strongly believe in lifestyle change. 8 laws of health is the foundation of everything.
I believe that there's a place for conventional medicines.
And we also use a lot of natural remedies. We have the whole team that work together, which includes a medical provider, lifestyle coaches, counselor, and chaplain.
People expect a chaplain to be spiritual. What they don't expect is a phlebotomist to be spiritual.
And many of the guests, they always testify that they came for the physical healing, but they praise God that their soul was healed.
I came here because I suffered from a nervous breakdown.
I suffer from heart disease, chronic kidney failure, congestive heart failure, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, and morbidly obesity.
I heard the fearful words, "You have extremely aggressive stage 4 endometrial cancer. We strongly recommend chemotherapy and radiation following surgery. However, your life expectancy for making it to 2 years is 0, and even 6 months is doubtful. This will take your life."
Due to my illnesses, I stay very, very depressed a lot of the time.
And the thing is, I had unresolved trauma. You know, growing up, it was a happy home, but it was a home where there was a lot of abuse. And in the end, I dropped my daughter off with a friend, and honestly, I was gonna just drive my car off a bridge, to be honest. And somehow, by the grace of God, I landed at a behavioral health hospital.
After surgery, I returned to my Wildwood family, began claiming God's healing promises, and cooperated with him in the simple health program that my Wildwood physician worked out for me.
So I kind of wanted to come just so I could kind of check out the program and see if they could help me with a few of my health concerns.
I had been calling Wildwood in the midst of all that, like maybe for 6 months or so, and I would just call and, asking about the Life Alignment program. I don't know how, but my husband found me at a hospital, and the Life Alignment program, they called and they set it up for me to come.
The experience here has been great, and the program, it actually works.
1 year after surgery, my surgeon exclaimed, "I saw with my own eyes the cancer was everywhere. There is no way we got it all. What is happening with you is nothing short of a miracle."
And I started to have peace. I was able to forgive those who had abused me and my family.
I was an insulin-dependent diabetic, but since I've been here, I haven't had to take 1 shot of insulin. When I walked in, I weighed 308. When I'm walking out, I weigh 264 pounds.
3.5 years after being given a death sentence, I rejoice in the gift of life and second chances. Our God is a mighty healer.
Was that powerful or what? That was powerful. That it's one thing to hear you talk about it. It's another to actually see people who have lived through it and who have gone through the program or are going through the program, and they're really healing. What a blessing that is. How gratifying it must be to see God's principles at work and to see that they really do work.
God is still in the business of healing.
Yes,
They're
yes.
even doing better. Kendrick actually we actually talked to him right before we came here. He lost 20 extra pounds. He's off his CPAP machine. He's able to sleep better.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yes.
Praise the Lord.
Mia's actually now doing and heading our Life Alignment program.
Wonderful.
4 years later, Allison is now, she's in hydrotherapy, and she's actually one of our therapists who is just touching so many people with her life. I mean, with her testimony of her life, and so it's a blessing.
It is.
It's a blessing.
Look at how God has used the people there to even start working there,
Yes.
to share what He's done with people that come in who need to hear from someone who's been through it already, that God can bring you through. The doctors had told the woman in the middle, what was her name again? The one with the cancer.
That was Allison.
Allison. They had told her she didn't have any extra time.
She said to me, her daughter was pregnant, and she said, I don't think I'm going to see my grandson be born. And now she has 2 grandchildren.
Oh, look at God, right? Yeah. Look at God. So in terms of outreach, you are doing work with the community and letting them know that you're there, right? What would you say to someone who is struggling right now with their health? Like, if you would, Vaughan, look into the camera there and talk to someone who needs Wildwood services.
You know, if you are having challenges with your health, we invite you to give us a call. Go online to our webpage, have a look at our programs, give us a call, and you know, you might look at this whole situation and say, you know, it might be somewhat expensive, but our team there will actually work with you to work through processes of how you can generate funds, raise the funds, to be able to come to our facility. I believe it'll be an investment in your health that you will never regret. Right?
That's good.
Because as we come into alignment with God's natural law, He can help us even more. And God wants to heal us. You know, God heals in 3 ways.
Come on,
right?
tell us.
He heals physically. He heals spiritually.
Yes.
He heals emotionally.
Yes.
You know, many times we may ask for a miracle for our physical healing. But when we ask for a miracle, God knows what's best for us. And God will always heal spiritually. We have so many people that have come to our facility and found the peace that they are longing for.
Yes.
Right? And so spiritual healing, if we come to God in the right way, He will always do it, because eternal life is the thing that He's worried about. He's not worried about so much the here and now.
Yes.
Right? He wants us with Him in eternity. And so this is why we are there. This is to help us, you know, get our lives on track, so that God can help us. He says both here and there.
That's right.
So many times all we need to do is to have that extra help, because we get stuck in everyday routines.
Right.
You know, life, we're running all the time. But invest the time in your life. I share with many people, you need to be selfish while you come to us.
That's good.
Take time out for you and your connection with God. And as you do that, and as you start to obey natural laws, God is going to be able to help you even more than He's able to now. So come to us, visit us, and we can't guarantee that you'll have all your physical ailments healed, but if you come to God in the right way, He will give you peace.
Well, you gave us a lot to chew on there. But one thing is that I want to reiterate is invest in yourself. We tend to put ourselves on the back burner.
Right.
You know, I have this to do, I have that to do, I have this to do, so I'll get to that in a minute. In the meantime, things are getting worse and worse. So take the time to invest in yourself. And the other thing that I love that you said was that God always will heal us spiritually. Always.
Always.
Jesus said, anyone who comes to him, he will in no wise cast out. If we just come to him, so we can come to him for healing physically, but spiritually and emotionally and in every way. God wants to heal us. And sometimes physically, we don't get healed. Sometimes there are things that happen where we don't, but we always get healed spiritually. And there is always that connection. There's that physical, spiritual, emotional connection. We're not isolated beings where we're just physical beings. So if we come to him, we can get that spiritual healing, and we can get physical healing and emotional healing. So do you have any closing thoughts?
Well, I want to tell you that we're in this together, okay? When you come to us, you're not alone. Even though we're trying to invest in yourself, we're also investing in you. So we're in this together, and may God be with you.
Oh, that's great, that's great. You guys are doing an amazing work, and I know that our viewers really want to know how to get in touch with you. So we're going to put up an address roll so that they can see how to contact you. Before we do that though, quickly, what's the price range for this, basically?
It's less than $4,000 for 11 days, and it might seem prohibitive, but again, call in. Our staff are there to help you work through this process, and let's see how the Lord will open the way for you to be able to come.
There you go.
As we ask the Lord, He's going to assist and help us and provide, impress people. There's ways that you can work with your local church. We are even working with conferences with pastors.
Great.
That they can come and regain health, have a time of respite, and be regenerated to nurture their flocks.
Wonderful. Well, let's see how our viewers can get in touch with you.
Amen.
Wildwood Lifestyle Center provides the tools for a healthy lifestyle change that helps patients find a way to heal more naturally, in many cases avoiding the side effects of traditional medicine. They also reach out to communities by providing food, nutrition counseling, parenting lessons, and group therapy sessions to those in need. For more information, visit wildwoodhealth.com. That's wildwoodhealth.com. You may also call them at 706-820-1493 or write to Wildwood Lifestyle Center, 435 Lifestyle Lane, Wildwood, Georgia 30757.
We've come to the end of this program. I can't believe that our hour just went that fast.
Right.
What are the needs? What do you need at Wildwood?
Well, we need a partnership in our viewers knowing that we would love them to share Wildwood. And one of the ways to share it is to come join us and be a guest at the lifestyle program. You know, we have 11 and 25 days where we, again, want to be a part of their healing. We also have guest rooms. Come visit. You know, 600 acres, over 600 acres of land. Come visit our stores. We know we have the new store now.
Right.
So come visit our stores, as well as we would like to empower you. We have a 6-month course. We have an online course, and we even have an advanced course. So we would love for them to learn as well so they can teach others. Anything else you want to feel for?
We have a community center that's not quite complete yet. You know, those that are willing to fund us financially, you can make donations to Wildwood Sanitarium, Inc., and it would be a blessing as we look at heading towards completion. We have it right in, the heating and cooling systems are being placed, and so we're almost there, but we need to have some finishing touches.
Thank you. Well, thank you. And you've seen what Wildwood is doing, you've heard their hearts, so please support them. Thank you so much for being with us. Join us next time. God bless you, and thank you.